TV. We're here for your life, your marriage, and your family. And guess what? We're Jay and Laura.
And we're going to jump right into marriage in the news this week because this article has got my attention, right? From the Wall Street Journal, it says that nagging is more pervasive than cheating. In other words, it happens more, obviously, but it's just as damaging. The article states that nagging, the interaction in which one person repeatedly makes a request and the other person repeatedly ignores it, and both become increasingly annoyed, is an issue every couple will grapple with. We have. While the word itself can provoke chuckles and eye rolling, it certainly does. The dynamic can potentially be as dangerous to a marriage as adultery or bad finances. Experts say it's exactly the type of toxic communication that can eventually sink a relationship. And I'm going to tell you, I think both men and women nag because I nag her about some things, she nags me about some things. She nags more. But anyway, the article goes on to say it's by researcher, professor, co-founder of the Marriage and Family Studies, Dr. Howard Markman, a great, great guy on marriage and family systems. He says the author points out that wives aren't the only ones who do the nagging. However, it also says that women are more likely to be the provokers, mainly due to the fact that in most cases they run the household.
Mainly due to the fact that we have to repeat ourselves all the time. That's why it appears to be nagging.
That's right, but here is the key phrase. Nagging is an enemy of love. That's huge. That is huge. Nagging is an enemy of love if it is allowed to persist.
And ladies, you know what? We can make excuse after excuse after excuse, just like I did. That, you know what? I don't nag. I just have to remind you because you didn't listen the first time, so I just have to remind you. But you know what? Here's what we have to do. We have to admit that we do nag, because we do nag. And then we have to catch ourselves in the middle of it. I'm really working hard on catching myself before I start the nag. But here is the key. If we could be clear and concise in our communication with our husbands. I do it with our husbands. I do it with my kids. Here is exactly what I need.
Don't
our
talk around
husbands
circles.
do not get subtle hints or innuendos. We have to be clear and concise. And here's something that has shot me right between the eyes. Proverbs 27:15 and 16 says this: a nagging wife is like the drip, drip, drip of a faucet. I don't think a drip, drip, drip is quite that loud.
This is an industrial-sized drip right here.
But ladies, we all know that when the faucet drips, what are we doing? It's driving us crazy. We just want to get it to shut off. Shut off, shut off, shut off. And it doesn't. But you know what? That's what the Bible says we're like when we nag. We're like the drip, drip, drip of a faucet.
So catch yourself. Make a conscious effort not to nag, whether you're the man or the woman in the relationship, because really it is toxic and an enemy of love. Well, let's move on to question of the week. And one of the things we love to do is to get your questions. So find our Facebook page and ask us a question. We'll answer it right here on Jay and Laura TV. And this question of the week
this week is, how can I be a better husband?
How can I be a better husband? Well, let me just tell you, if you really watch and observe me all the time and do as I do, you'll be pretty much perfect. Just kidding, just kidding. Seriously. What you need to do is simply ask your wife how you can be a better husband. Now, be prepared because she's going to tell you, and you may not like what you hear, but what a great question to ask your wife. Honey, how can I be a better husband?
And here's the deal, ladies. When they ask, answer the question, because you know you already have a running list in your head of what you want. And this goes back to that clear and concise. When they ask, you have to answer.
But start, ladies, with something simple for them, okay? Start with something they can get a win under their belt right away. And guys, keep asking that question. Honey, how can I be a better husband to you? How can I better meet your needs? Because when we do that, you're going to win the love of this woman over and over and over again. So, how can you be a better husband? Ask your wife and act upon what she has to say.
Words of wisdom on being a better husband from Jay Laffoon.
That's right.
Hey, you know what? Let's move on to Connection Corner. And this was a question posed by Marriage Life Blog. And the question was this: are you a venter? Are you a venter, a person who vents? My answer was absolutely. I like to vent. But
and I
you know
do every
what?
once in a while.
And while venting can be therapeutic, it can also be harmful. And here's the key word in those statements: can. It can be therapeutic, it can also be harmful. And we have to really watch when we vent. And here's what just some things that we have done when we need to vent. The first thing that we do is we let each other know, I just need to vent.
Can you listen to me for a minute? Because I need to blow off some
Because
steam.
when we say that, then that gives the other person who's listening the freedom to listen without being afraid.
In one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're venting.
Supposed to listen to me. Anyway, so identifying that you're venting, and then venting has a beginning and an end. I'm going to vent. I'm starting. I'm done. No more. It's over with. I'm done with this issue. I'm not going to vent about it anymore. So.
And give each other permission to hold you to that. Okay, honey, you said you were done, so get over it and let's move on. Well, that's our Connection Corner tip. Learn how to vent with each other. And finally, we have real life with Jay and Laura, stuff that only happens to us. Well, this last week, we were up in Cedarville, Michigan for an ultimate date night show.
Way up there in
Way
Michigan.
up in the upper peninsula of Michigan. It's beautiful up there. It's in an area called the Laffoon area, which means channels, because there's a bunch of islands. And we were treated to an amazing meal. We're foodies. We travel the country. We love to find great restaurants, and there's a great restaurant in Cedarville, Michigan called Fired Up Pizza and More. Mediterranean cuisine like you've never had. Greek salads, gyros, Slovakia, all this stuff. It was just like, wow.
It was amazing.
We got a sampler. We took a picture. We posted it on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page and see the picture of this sample of food.
Now, to be fair, we did not find this restaurant. We were in Cedarville to do an ultimate date night show, and our hosts, Davine and Scout Hester, took us to Fired Up. And so, one more time, giving you props, guys, for taking us, because it is now one of our favorite restaurants in the state of Michigan.
Top 5.
But moving on with more real life, I just need to let you know that Jay, he turned 50 in October, and last night he had a real senior moment, and it was quite hilarious in our house. We came down from taking showers, and Jay was making us some pop so we could sit down and watch TV and drink our pop, and he got the glasses out, and I'm at the kitchen sink with my back to him as I'm doing up some dishes, and he starts ranting and raving about the fact that he cannot find the brand new pop, the brand new 2-liter of Mountain Dew. He is looking for it. He can't find it. He's in the refrigerator tearing everything apart, ranting and raving. He comes over to where I am at the kitchen sink. He starts going through the trash can. Where's that 2-liter pop? I know we could not have finished it. It was brand new. Those kids finished the 2-liter pop. He stops ranting and raving. He turns around to go back to where he had put the glasses out, and sitting right next to the glasses he had just gotten out is the brand new bottle of 2-liter of Mountain Dew. Oops, he says. It was quite hilarious. Welcome to your 50s, honey.
That's right, a senior moment from Jay and Laura. Actually, just Jay.
I'm not 50 yet.
Yeah, but she's had plenty of moments. Anyway, we are Jay and Laura Laffoon. That's it for this week's show. We look forward to being with you next week. And remember, we're Jay and Laura Laffoon. We're here for your life, your marriage, and your family.
An iPhone, iPad, iPod, iTouch, iThingamajiggy, you can now get a free download of Jay and Laura TV on your mobile device.
So go to iTunes, search Jay and Laura TV, hit the subscribe button, and every week our television show will come to your mobile device absolutely free. That's right, it's free! Wow!